I don't make that many video. And when I make a video, it means that I really want to make a video. And today, this video is about, Silver Fortune, a YouTuber on YouTube with about 8,930 subscribers to be exact. And, these 8,930 idiots is subscribed to this idiot's channel because it's unbelievable how many people follow this idiot. All right, so this guy loves to bash China, and he's like saying that, China's in a huge bubble and stuff like that. And let me just kind of clarify everything because this idiot don't really understand how China works. China is a communist country while he likes using, how should I say it? The Western style, the democracy style way of looking at it, and then saying it's a bubble. No, it's not a bubble. You're in a bubble. You're in a big bubble, and you think that, this bubble didn't pop yet, but it's going to pop. And you're going down pretty hard when that bubble comes. All right. So, obviously he bans people on his channel that says bad things that he don't like or says things that obviously does not agree with his point. And that's normal because all YouTubers do that. And, this idiot, Silver Fortune, let me just break this thing down for you guys. Silver Fortune is a channel that talks about gold, silver, mostly silver, I think. And he's trying to get into economics. And how I found his channel was through Peter Schiff. Not that Peter Schiff put him up. Why would Peter Schiff put him up, right? So this guy is pretty much a YouTuber. I don't know how old he is. Maybe he's 20, 30. Somewhere around that bracket, or maybe 18. I don't know. Who knows? And, because Peter Schiff talks a lot about the economy, and then his videos popped up, right? And so I wanted to take a look at it, and obviously he's just regurgitating everything that Peter Schiff's been saying. I mean, Peter Schiff's been saying it for years and years. And I mean a lot of years. Seriously, I mean, if you go back, it's like 19-something or like, the dot-com bubble and stuff like that. So this guy is just regurgitating what Peter Schiff says. And it's mostly in a sense, or I guess in a way, where he's just saying half of what Peter Schiff says because he doesn't know how it's going to unfold the other way, like, the other half. So he's saying half of what Peter Schiff says, and he's always late, and he doesn't really know what he's talking about. So I was scrolling through his channel, and one of the things that popped out is all eyes on China, and then you scroll down a bit more, and there's a Great Wall of Debt and all that other shit nonsense that he is so clueless about. And all the idiots that follow his channel are the believers of China is in a big debt bubble, and that economy is gonna blow up before the U.S. and all that stuff, and then. They talk about the ghost town. Let me just clarify the ghost town with the fortune idiots, or the silver fortune idiots. So, they're not ghost town. They are assets. Yes, they are assets. Yes, the fucking cities are assets, you idiot. I mean, if you were a mayor, right? If you own a freaking country, would you have raw land, or we have freaking real estate? Or, instead of buying the U.S. Treasury and shit, okay, propping up the U.S., I want to use that money to invest in my country. I mean, who the hell is dumb enough, you don't even need to be a genius to know this, that if you're playing a freaking game and you own a freaking country, you have money. You're not going to go, build another person's country. So this guy thinks that, China is in a bubble because what? There's ghost cities and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, right. Okay, so let me get this straight. So if I was playing a game, let's say a game, because the game is it's a simulation, right? So, there are a lot of simulation games out there. And, you're going to use that money, which is you generate. And, would you rather just buy the USD, invest in the US, or invest in other countries? Or, hey, you know what? I'm going to build up my cities. Yeah, my city gets bigger, and then, my citizens gonna become, my workers, the labor people, right? Instead of them living in slums and dying, we're gonna give them cities, let them work, let them make money, and then they can pay me, all right? So, a lot of people, intelligent people have basically said that, and obviously, the silver idiots don't really get it. Well, not the silver idiots. I mean, a lot of people invest in silver and they get it. Jim Rogers, Peter Schiff, everybody has been, they get it. They get that, hey, they're investing in their country. All right. And, it's not, a lot of silver investors are good. I'm just saying the silver fortune idiot. So let me get that clear out of the way. When I talk, when I get mad and I forget their name. I don't know who it is. All right. The guy basically has 8,930 subscribers. I'm looking at it right now. So not a lot of subscribers. So, but he obviously he is able to scam 8,900 and something subscribers thinking he's a genius, but he's an idiot because he doesn't really know what he's talking about. So he's talking about, I'm just going to regurgitate what Peter Schiff is saying and every other freaking economist that has, or not economist, I guess people that have predicted the 2008 recession. And, people that manage money and have a lot of money and are rich compared to this, I guess this guy is like 8,930 subscriber rich, if you like to call it that. I don't know how much he makes, but probably not even $1,000 a year. Actually, maybe more than $1,000 a year, man. I don't know, maybe a couple $100 a month. Who knows? Because I have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, but I can't post it on that channel because I want to be good for, whatever. But anyways, so this guy is an idiot. And this idiot here, I got to call him out because this idiot, basically banned me when I pointed out, hey, this thing, that thing, and this thing. So anyways, this idiot here doesn't really know what he's talking about. And, Silver Fortune is talking about China is in debt. Yes, they're in debt, okay? No doubt about it. Freaking U.S. is in debt. Canada's in debt. England's in debt. Europe is in debt. Shit, man. The entire world is in freaking debt, okay? Now, for simplicity, to make it so that even the idiots that are following Silver Fortune understands. I mean, if you're still following them, then you're continuing the idiocracy movie, where you can't even plug in a square into a square. You try to plug it into a triangle-shaped thing. All right? So, let's say, to make it easy for you guys, let's say there's 10 people. All right? Actually, no, 10 is too much. Let's say 3. All right, there's 3 people. All right? There's, let's say the UK. There's the US. And then there is China. So, China, the guy, he owns, let's say this guy here, he owns the factory. He owns the factory that creates everything, okay? From food to, I don't know, technology, lighting, and shit like that, all right? And then you have the UK, and you have the US. They have nothing. They don't create anything. They don't have any factories. They don't have anything, all right? Maybe they can give you a foot job or some shit, but, they don't have anything, and they don't have that much, all right? And he thinks that this bubble will hurt the guy with the factory much. No, I mean, if it pops, the first thing that'll hurt, it'll probably hurt the other, the people that don't have the farm, that don't have the, the food, that don't have the factory that creates I don't know what they create, okay? So basically you're creating something. You just flip on the back of your phone, the back of anything, and look where it's made, all right? So that's where it's made. And I think we can all agree that China makes it all. And, if the bubble pops, they still have shit. They can make shit. They could sell shit to other countries, all right? And the other countries want that shit, okay? And, let's just say this. If the other countries don't want it, the other country would be much more broke, all right? And like Peter Schiff says, China can sell to themselves, sell within their own economy, because there's a lot of poor people out there. They're willing to work. You see, that's the thing. That's the key thing. The willingness to work, right? And then get the product. Now, China right now is propping up the U.S. and basically every other economy in the world by buying the debt, right? So the U.S. and everybody is sending the bills, and, they're sending us stuff, right? The Chinese are sending us stuff. And, this guy here, the Silver Fortune, I don't really like talking about him that much because he's not that bright. And, he thinks it's going to hurt China the most because they have ghost cities. Yeah. I mean, yeah, and, if you actually been to China, I do see the idiots online talking about, oh, look, there's ghost city. Nobody's living there, like whatever. And then a few years later, you come back. It's not a ghost city anymore because all the freaking Chinese moved in. And then, they're starting to build a nation. That's how it freaking works, That's how you even in a simulation, let's say, just for the simplicity of today, because we have simulations, you don't need to actually visualize it. Well, actually, you do. But anyways, all right. So basically what happens is the Chinese government, they have a lot of money, right? So what is happening is, hey, I could spend, the money on propping up the U.S., or I could build my nation, building roads, highways, cities, landscape. They build the most fashionable things. Like, they have a clear bridge. You know how the tourists, right? They all go to the places that have the most amazing stuff so they can take their freaking selfies, okay? So, what are you going to take? Like back in, I don't know, 30, 50 years ago, sure, everybody wants to go to the U.S. Nobody wants, the people still do, but maybe not in the next 50 years, not in the 100 years. But these idiots think, hey, this is a ghost city. This ghost city is an asset, okay? This is not like Robert Kiyosaki telling, the single man that only has enough for one freaking house. This is the Chinese government, all right? So they lifted the ban for the one-child policy, okay? So now they have all these towns that are empty currently, but that doesn't mean that's not what, the town will be filled. Come on, man. That's like, okay, I really don't get how this guy doesn't see it, because it just shows how stupid he is. You have a house, all right? And, you have 5 rooms. Let's say that. You are living in one room. Freak. I mean, maybe you're 20 or something. You have the house with 5 rooms, and you're like, oh, look, they're ghost rooms. Nobody's going to freaking live in there. Well, does it mean that, you're not going to have a child? There. A child takes a room. There's one room. And then you have a wife. I mean, sure. I mean, maybe they have parents. If not, hey, you could rent out the room. See, there we go. The generation, okay, of money, of capital. They have room. You have room. You have assets to rent out. People need to live. This is not a ghost city. This is, assets. This is not Robert Kiyosaki. This is a freaking government, dude. So this guy is a complete idiot. His 8,000 subscribers. If you have subscribed to him, you should unsubscribe, because he's an idiot. And I don't know. I mean, I can't see how anyone would follow his advice. I think you lose a lot of money following his advice. And he's just regurgitating what everybody else is saying. Actually, no. He's not even regurgitating what everybody else is saying. He's just regurgitating what he believes is correct from what other people are saying. And then he's filtering out the reason why the other people believe it's correct. Because, the other people, they tell you why. Hey, China's like this, and this is why it will happen. No, but this guy just remembers the things, and he doesn't remember the reason why it's this way. He just remembers what it is. So this guy is a complete idiot. And, I don't want to talk too much about it, but Silver Fortune, if you are listening, all your videos on China, you're so clueless, right? In 10 years, we're going to go back to this video and then look how clueless you are, because you're going to be like, damn, that's how it went down. And the worst thing about this is because, obviously if you visited his channel, you believe that silver will probably, go up, right? So knowing an idiot is in on the same investment as everybody else is a really bad sign, because this idiot will probably most likely get it wrong, which means that, hey, I don't know. I mean, he's not so bright. I don't know when he started. I mean, I think I seen him on there a couple years ago, but it looks like his account just says 2016. And I don't know. Obviously he's not like Silver Doctor. He reminds me of Greg Manarino. All right, if you've been on what's his name, Greg Hunter's show, right? And Greg Hunter started with Greg Manarino, well, mostly those type of people. And then he started adding like Jim Rogers, Peter Schiff, more credible people that actually have money, that aren't broke. All right. And this is where, it reminds me of Greg Manarino because the guy has no clue what he's saying. He's just re-saying all the same crap that, well, I shouldn't say it's crap, but, he's saying all the same thing that Peter Schiff is saying. But the only thing is, he pushes it tenfold. It's like, oh, it's going to happen today. Dump it, dump it, dump it, dump it. And then you know what happens, right? If you follow his channel, and I stopped following his channel a while ago, maybe a few years ago, he deletes every video when there's a new year. So all of his predictions that were freaking wrong no longer exists, all right? I mean, at least Peter Schiff is like, oh, I just didn't know it lasted for that long. But, the end game is like that. But, this guy, Greg Manarino, and, Silver Fortune is a bigger idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And he makes videos for it because I didn't even talk about how, the Chinese culture, right? I was saying that they're communists. And they're very different from democracy. The mindset of the people is very different, okay? So the Chinese, they love to invest in real estate. In fact, that is the only thing they would invest in. After the 98 bubble, I think, in the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, it is known to Chinese to never invest in stocks. I mean, sure, you might have some of the risk takers and stuff, but most of the average, person would tell their child not to invest in stock. And let me just go a bit further on that. People say the house is not an asset. Sure, it's not an asset. It's not generating some shit, okay? So, we all know Robert Kiyosaki and how he says that. But the thing is, it is an asset because of one reason. And this is the main reason why Chinese like to buy a house or a home, okay? The man has to take care of the woman, in most cases, okay? And they have to have a house, and the woman wants a house. Unless you plan to be single, then don't buy a freaking house. And those guys that don't have a house are freaking single, okay? So most of the guys in China are scrapping up houses. They're buying, if they can buy more than one, they'll buy 2, 3. They're going all in, okay? So this is the different mindset. And I don't even want to talk because I grew up in the West, right? So what happened is that, most of the Western economy, they don't really care what's happening, dude. Back in the 1950s, the guys were more responsible, okay? In the 2000s, come on, man. Most of the guys will not want to pay for the entire house themselves. If you went down into the street today, if you're a female and you went down in the street today and you asked, dude, I'll marry you if you buy me a house. You know how many guys will probably say, yeah, you're kidding, right? So, this guy does not understand the Chinese economy, has no clue what he's talking about. Silver Fortune, the biggest idiot, and he keeps on making these videos about China. I mean, we're going to come back to this video one day when the dollar collapses, just like Peter Schiff has been saying, and, things hit the fan. We're going to come back to this video, and I don't know. I mean, unfortunately, he's invested in silver, and if Peter Schiff is right, then obviously, I wouldn't want him to be profiting from this shit, but that it is what it is, and I still think he's the biggest idiot because he has no clue what he's talking about. He doesn't understand the economy in China, and he's sitting here with a freaking, eyeglass into another country where he never lived, and he doesn't even understand the culture, and it's totally idiotic because if you know the Indians, I'm not even going to talk about the Chinese. The Indians, their culture, and I guarantee you, Silver Fortune does not have this mindset, nor does his father or parents, all right? The Indians, you know what they do? From generation to generation, they pass down the house. They make sure there's a house, there's land, some shit to give to their child. That's why the Indians take care of their family members, okay? So this guy has no clue what he's talking about, and he's sitting there going, oh, China's in a bubble. You have ghost towns. You're an idiot. That's why.